Okay, welcome once again. This is my third edition, and I don't know according to English how which number is that, because we were moving, the three of us are handling. I left you with some activity in the other lesson. I'm sure most of you have done. Thank you very much, Elisette. I received your work in my inbox. Thank you very much for that spirit. I also received some work from Nidoi, only that you posted in the forum, the group. So we are just encouraging you members to post that work, to just inbox us, the teachers. If there's an activity we've given you, just inbox. But it's a very good spirit that you're trying at least to do the work we are giving you. It shows that you're following the lessons and you're in for it. Okay, so number, what to start with here are the corrections. Remember, I promised those who posted that the corrections will be given in this lesson here. Our first question, the instruction was use the correct form of the word, give the word in brackets. Of course, that is to complete the sentences. Number one, we have one where he has not performed the dash marriage. In brackets, we have religion. So let's write here corrections. Corrections. So, number one answer from religion, we get the word religious. So it was one verse has not performed the religious marriage yet. Number two, my sister has bought a very white dash gown. Brackets have bride. So from the word bride, we form the adjective bridal. So it is a very white bridal gown. Number three, most dash are ever smarter than the grooms. We have the word best man. So most is calling for the plural form. This word best man, remember we spaced a bit, moves on to what we call best men. Those are many. Most best men are ever smarter than the grooms. I don't know whether that is true. The loan from, that's number four, the loan from Jamada field required his dash consent. In brackets have the word spouse. Remember from the word spouse, this is a noun. So I say there's an adjective we form that is spousal. Spousal consent. Consent from your spouse, that is a spousal consent. That is number four. Number five, we're supposed to fill the blank space with the most suitable word. And Nambozo is married, dash 3 children. So the most suitable word there is married with. If you're married and you've produced some children, then you're married with those children. Now if they say Nambozo is married dash Samson, there you're going to say Nambozo is married to. That's the preposition used there. But with when they say children, you're married with a specific number of children. Our number 6 was Reverend Francis presided dash their marriage. It is presided over. Remember I talked about that preposition. Number 7, the flower girl was carrying a dash of flowers at the wedding. So that those flowers can be referred to as a bouquet. That's a collection of flowers. Remember we said a flower girl is a young woman or girl who carries flowers or scatters them before the bride at a wedding. That's what we had the definition. So the flowers she will carry in a group will make what you call a bouquet. Number 8, we said neither the bridegroom dash. Neither is a twin conjunction, is a correlative conjunction whose twin conjunction is nor. So neither the bridegroom nor the best man was shabby. Okay, meaning they were smart. Number 9, they're saying give the opposite of the underlined word in the sentence. I got some money from my best man. The opposite of best man is bridesmaid. In your notes, if you really check, those notes are there. I mean, those ideas are there. Number 10, her fiancé is very handsome. Now, fiancé is that's the man, and then the woman is also fiancé, but the difference is EE. We talked about that. Number 11, I was a flower girl on his wedding. Members get this right? It's supposed to be page boy, and it's one word. Not this one. Please don't write this. I'll say not. I don't know. I'll just cancel like that. Not pig boy. This one is incorrect. It is not correct. So the correct one is page boy. That's the opposite of flower girl, and it's one word. Number 12 it was about arranging in alphabetical order. So our answer is, maybe you'll check your answer. I will not work out because of time. The first word is supposed to be best man. The next word is supposed to be bridal. Bridal. The next word is bride. You'll mark your work there. And then the last one is bridegroom. Bridegroom. Okay. Number 13. Our first word is wed. Our second word is wedded. Our third word is wedding. And then our fourth word is weds. Okay. Over to number 14, we're supposed to write in full. Write in full, 14. REV. Like this is the question, it stands for reverend. Reverend. We say reverend, but we write reverend. It ends with E-N-D. It ends in end, not and. Most of you are writing reverend. So you watch out and correct. Number 15. The word MC is what we gave. Now MC stands for master. MC stands for Master of Ceremonies. MC stands for Master of Ceremonies. The better one is that we use all small letters, Master of Ceremonies. You can also write Mistress. If that MC is a female, you can write Mistress of Ceremonies. So any of those two is correct. But we can, the first option can always be master, because most of them you see that. However, the two are correct. 16, we had RSVP. RSVP. You already see regrets only. So we can have please reply. Please reply in small letters. It is better like that. Then lastly, number 17, we have FR. That is a father. This is a member of the clergy. And remember, this clergy here is a group of religious leaders. So that one is a father. We use a capital F. So I am sure some people got these things right. Those who tried, thank you very much. If you didn't try, please just come on board and we do the things. We are now moving on to another thing. That is today. So you can write a date today. You can write a date today. And then we are going to do something about more vocabulary. More vocabulary. So vocabulary, those are words. Still slash, new words. New words. Remember, I told you that what you know is your vocabulary, what you have in your head. If someone mentions a word and you know it, that's your vocabulary. If you don't know it, it's a new word. Now when you get to learn it, it becomes a part of your vocabulary. So we're going to look at, the other time we looked at the people involved in a wedding. Today we're going to look at other words, other terms. Which other terms do you hear? About weddings, about marriages, like that. So we are getting the list. We are making the list that you're going to try to find out. You're going to try to find out their meanings on that separate paper, and then when I come back in the next lesson, we shall look at them. We shall look at comparing your meanings and mine. Are we on the same page or a different one? Now we say this marriage here is a process. That's why we started from girlfriend up to bride and then bridegroom level. Now, how do you start? How do you become someone's girlfriend? Someone will propose. Now, the first word we shall look at here is the word proposal. Try to find out what the word proposal means, because you're going to propose to someone who is going to later become your boyfriend. Then from there, after proposing to someone and that person has accepted has become your girlfriend, you're going to move on to your pastor or your religious leader, your spiritual father, and then you declare your intentions to marry that person, of course. So when you declare your intentions to marry that person, the pastor, the bishop, the reverend, whoever declares in the church that you or announces in church that these two people intend to get married, like maybe Samson and Jane intend to get married, that statement in church is called a bans. It is called a bans. So you're going to find out what a ban means. I mean, a bans means according to you. Now, if they declare a bans, it means the two of you are now, after the bans, it means you're what? You are engaged. So we're going to look at this word, engagement. Engagement. You find out from your dictionary, what is it saying about the word engagement? Now, when you are engaged, so after looking at that word engagement, know that this engagement, what can show on a person that that person is engaged? There is that stuff called a what? A ring. We have what called an engagement ring. Engagement ring. Engagement ring. You will see someone with an engagement ring. Remember, we have these fingers. We say this one is called the little finger. This one is called the ring finger. This one is called the middle finger. This one is called the index finger. And this one here is the thumb. So normally our engagement rings are placed on the middle finger, which when you get, after which when now get to the wedding, you're going to place that ring on that ring finger. So we have again, it is the little finger, the ring finger, the middle finger, the index finger, and then the thumb. So here we are at the level of having an engagement ring to show someone that me, I'm booked, I'm engaged. Okay, now during that time when you have an engagement ring that was put on your finger by a man, you are the woman. That time when you have that engagement ring, you are in this period called courtship. You're in this period called courtship. I'm explaining the process. How do you end up becoming someone's wife? How do you end up becoming an old woman in someone's family? These are the steps you are supposed to follow. Propose. Let a bans be declared. Of course, now after the bans, you are engaged. You have a ring. Now you are in a courtship. You're studying your friend. Does he or she have what you want? Or there are some things missing? What can you add? At the end of the courtship, if you find that you're studying and someone does not really suit you, or you leave that person. Okay, after the courtship now, remember, we are mixing up two types of marriages. We have that religious marriage, and then the customary marriage. Those three forms we discussed. So we are mixing up. Now, what is the best thing to do? Now, during this courtship here, you start now preparing. How can you prepare? Because you've now left church. Now, how are the parents? You can pay what we call a pre-visit. You pay a pre-visit. Yes, your spiritual father has gotten to know that you people want to marry each other. But now how about the parents of the people? How about your parents? Go to pay a visit to the parents of your wife. Let also your wife also be known. So, but mainly here it is about the man paying a visit. So it is like a mini introduction, that pre-visit there. They get to know you. Then from the pre-visit, of course when you go to a pre-visit, they will now tell you what they want. That's what is involved in a pre-visit. You get there, sit, and then they tell you that now we want 6 cows or we want 100 cows. We want, maybe if they want ducks, yes. Maybe if they want pigeons, it's fine. Maybe it depends on what they want. So you start planning for the introduction. You start planning for the introduction. You start planning for the introduction for the pre-visit. Now after that, during this introduction is when you're going to get to know these people called the what? The in-laws. The in-laws. We have a brother-in-law, we have the sister-in-law, we have the mother-in-law. Those ones, you get to know them during that introduction. So that is shortly after the pre-visit. The pre-visit that determines how you're supposed to go to them again during the introduction. What must you carry? What I've told you is what you carry. But of course you have to negotiate. If they have said 20 cows, you can say, but according to me, I have 60. Or according to me, I have 10. I may not afford that. Okay. So now, after the introduction and seeing your in-laws, now introduction here, you're now starting planning for a bigger thing. You start planning for a wedding. And the wedding is religious in nature. You can be a Muslim, you can be a Christian, so you start planning. How do you plan? We have what we call there are these sacraments. There are the sacraments. Sacraments you must fulfill before getting married. One of them that we are going to highlight here is baptism. You must be baptized before you qualify to get married. There's also what you call confirmation. If you're not confirmed, confirmation. If you're not confirmed, you also don't qualify to be wedded. In some churches, you must be confirmed. That is it. So from there, you can also organize. When it is coming closer, the wedding, the real party is coming closer. You now start. We have this party organized for that woman. It's like a farewell party for a woman who is soon getting married. That party is called a bridal. It's called a bridal shower. It is called a bridal shower. I remember, this Rema and Hamza, they organized because for them they didn't wed. They had what you call an introduction. But again, they organized something like that. They called it an introduction, is it shower? Something like that. So it was first of its kind, I think, in the world. So they started up something new. Because this kind of party for people who are soon getting married, it normally happens before the wedding. But Hamza and Rema organized theirs before an introduction. So it was something new that had not been seen. Now, as the woman will be organizing what you call a bridal shower, the man on this hand will also be organizing what you call a bachelor party. Bachelor party. I'm telling you these terms, but of course you look up their meanings. I know what really, get the deeper meanings of this whatever. A man is a bachelor party. A woman, that is a bridal shower. So in simple terms, the bridal shower is just the opposite of the word bachelor party. Bachelor party is for the man, and then the bridal shower is for the woman. Those people that are just getting married, you meet with your friends, you say that last goodbye. You say, members, now we've been doing this, we've been watching football, maybe up to late, but now I think I'll be leaving you a bit. So that is what is involved there. You eat something. So that's what you call a bridal shower on the side of women, and then on the side of men we have what you call a bachelor party. Now from there, after those steps, you now move on to what you call, you can move on to what you call the wedding. Move on to what you call the wedding itself. You now start thinking about the wedding. Now, this word wedding has, we can maybe call them the compounds. Because once they start with wedding, we can have what you call a wedding cake. You start planning for them. Wedding cake. Okay? We have what you call a wedding gown that you can call a bridal gown. We shall look at those ones. Wedding gown. Okay? We can have what you call the wedding day. The wedding day. Think about that. So we are categorizing them. We have what called the wedding ring. Remember, we started with an engagement ring. So we have what called the wedding ring here. So you can get to know that. Sometimes it can also be called anything here. Wedding can be bridal cake, bridal gown, bridal day, bridal ring. This word ring can also be a band, like we're going to find out in our definitions. From there, you can also have what called a wedding anniversary. Find out. I talked about this word anniversary. Wedding anniversary. What does that mean? From there, we can also have what called, this one here, I don't know. You'll find out the meaning. I don't know whether it's very, very necessary, but you can also look at it. It's called a wedding tackle. You'll find out what it means. Since even in science we cover most of these things, so it is also called a wedding tackle. It can be there in your dictionary, it can be found there. From there, members, we can also look at, during this, what do you prepare for? What do you prepare? What do you do in preparation for the wedding? You can think about buying things like refreshments. Refreshments, now here we have run to the reception. Refreshments. You can think about your bride. There's that flower that they normally put on the head of the bride as a decoration. That flower, you will realize it's called a carnation. Find out what a carnation means. Okay? So if a woman is decorated or designed with this carnation here, how about a man? If you watch these Indian movies, these Indians like this one so much, a garland, you'll find out what a garland means. You also find out what a garland means. So a man can be decorated with a garland. Even a woman can also have that, but mainly we normally see men having these garlands. They are normally found around the necks. You will get to know them after finding out the definitions. And we have a carnation. Then from there, we can also have, look at this word, decorate. Yes, you have to think about decorating your stuff. Okay? You can think about decorating the reception, the cars that we're going to look at bridal stuff, like bridal car, bridal what you're going to decorate. Then, remember when you're organizing this, you're going to have meetings, wedding meetings. We have wedding meetings. In those meetings, we start planning. People start pledging, to pledge. You will understand the meaning of pledge. What is to pledge? Yes, people start pledging. Now, there are those who pledge and fulfill. Those who are fulfilled will do what we call this. They will donate. So you find out what the word donate means. Those who do not donate, of course, you don't have to blame them, but of course they will have pledged or they will have promised. We said if you have a flower, that flower is also going to move with what we call a bouquet. Now, what is that bouquet? You're going to find out in your whatever. So we can now move on to also the word bridal. We've seen the word wedding, it's here. So now let's look at things that are connected with the bride, that is bridal. So we can have what we call a bridal suite. Bridal suite. This word is suite, not suit. You ever heard of that? Bridal suite. That car that you use to carry the bride or the groom, that one there is called a bridal car. It can be called a bridal car. Remember, you have a wedding gown here. You can also call it a bridal gown. So stuff like that. Now, members, you have reached church. You're going for your wedding. We have seats. Let me say these are seats. Maybe you have around the 3 columns in the church. Now, if you look at the passages between those seats, like now sits here and then sits here, where now this is maybe, in P1, remember I used to do this? That is the bride, P1. These are our P1 girls and boys. So that is the whatever. This is the bride, the groom and the bride. They are walking, they are using this. That passage is called an ISO. So you find out what an ISO means. They're going to hit that ISO and then move. They'll move straight to what called the altar. They move to the what? To the altar. And when they reach the altar, this is a process, members, I'm explaining the process. When they reach the altar, they're going to take what you call vows. So each and every one, or the 2 of them, are going to take vows. So each one will take a vow. A vow. The word is vow, not vow. Now, in those churches, if there are reverends, if there are priests, if there are choir members, there's some specific kind of garment they put on, the clothing. Sometimes they are black or red in color, red and white. You know, they are like kanzus. Those clothings or the garments can be called cassocks. So one is a cassock. When you see it, you don't get surprised. It's called a what? A cassock. Still find out what it is. So when someone is putting, when you say, I saw the reverend or priest putting on a dress or something like a kanzu, no, that one is called a cassock. So you find out what a cassock means. From there, after them taking their vows, like they will say, of course now the vows, like someone says, I promise to stay with you until death does us apart. After, do you so and so accept someone as your lawfully wedded husband? Someone says, yes, I do. Then of course you now say, I'll love you until death does us apart. Of course, unfortunately, some of us normally break those vows. Okay, now after those vows, after the wedding, you have to get what called a certificate. And that certificate is called a marriage certificate. Marriage certificate. Remember, when you are born, you attain what you call a birth certificate. After getting a birth certificate, you get married. You get a marriage certificate. Now, when you die, you also get what called a death certificate. So there are those 3 certificates you must receive in life. A must for you: birth certificate, marriage certificate, and then the death certificate. But of course, here we're at a marriage certificate level. Now, marriage Spiritually can just be called matrimony or marriage. You can just call it matrimony. Matrimony can be marriage. Then in spiritually or in religious terms, you can call it holy matrimony. Holy matrimony. You get to understand those terms. Matrimony, holy matrimony. We should also understand the word marry. It has some words that we form from marry. There are some words that we form from marry that examiners normally like. Remember that word marito, it comes from the word marry. So you also define it and try to find out other words that can come out from that word marry. So we have a few more. Now, I think you've followed the process. We have married someone. You've gone to church, you've paid everything, and now you are reaching a level, of course, where you're settling with someone. But after the matrimony, after the marriage, there's this holiday that you people are supposed to take. This holiday is supposed to take. That holiday is called honey, a moon with honey. I don't know why they call it honeymoon. So there you go alone. Remember when I was defining this the bridesmaid, I said this is a young woman or girl who helps the bride before and during her wedding. Before and during. This bridesmaid, or the matron here in Uganda, this bridesmaid, or the matron in Uganda, like I was saying, does not follow these people up to their honeymoon. That one is wrong. And if we find you following them, then I don't know what you're looking for. It is, you help them before to get organized, and then during the wedding. Then you leave them to go for their honeymoon alone. I don't know why they call it honeymoon, like I've already asked. Okay, from there, types of marriages, people can choose. You are one man who is taking one wife. That type of marriage is there. But of course, we said the first types of marriage we looked at religious, civil, and customary. Now look at those kinds, the types. If you're a man who has married one wife, you've practiced what we call monogamy. You've practiced what we call monogamy. If you are still that man who has married more than one wife, you have practiced what we call polygamy. If you are that man, of course, now we have monogamy and then polygamy, those two. That's one wife, more than, like the Muslims normally believe in this polygamy. As the Christians believe in monogamy. Though some Christians, of course, defy it. They go beyond that. Then there is also this woman, a woman who says, me, I cannot just be married to one man. That one man is not enough for me. I have a lot of money. I am working. So I have to have this one in Kampala. I need to have another one. And by the way, it's official. Because we said marriage is the legal union. So we don't just say that you just have your side dish somewhere and say that's a marriage. No. It means people know that that person is there. It is legal. So if you're that woman who is doing that, you're practicing what you call polyandry. You're practicing what we call polyandry. So a man who has more than one wife does what we call polygamy. This one, a woman, does what we call polyandry. So if you were to go like maybe looking at the gender opposite, the opposite of polygamy is polyandry, because this one is done by a man and this one is done by a woman. Now, most ladies, most women, or most men, or most of us feel like if it's a marriage, then it should be a monogamous one, where you are one man who is for one wife. You're one wife who is for one husband. Sometimes if you realize that yes, you've gotten married, and then someone brings number 2, number 3, we start now losing. You start now, the love you had for that person starts fading, starts disappearing. So you start now planning for this man called divorce. Yes, so, for me, when you're getting me, you told me I was the only one in your heart. Now you cannot tell me that we're going to share. I know, I don't want. So you organize for what you call a divorce. Now, this divorce here, if you you've done what you call a divorce. If you've ended a marriage, that's what you call a divorce. You become what you call a divorce. So if you do this, if you get to a level where you're tired of your husband, or you're tired of your wife, and you say no, we have to, and still even when because marriage is legal, so even when you're divorcing, you don't just wake up one morning and say, you're no longer my husband. No, you can go to court. Then you get what you call a divorce. So you, the person who has done that, you can be called a divorcee. Your dictionary will tell you that this one can be a man or it can be a woman. Now, to make this person the woman only, the dictionary, if you follow continue still, it will show you that you have this. It will call this person a divorcee. 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 Like you remember this punctuation mark I told you, it brings about the A sound. A sound. So this one becomes a divorcee. Now this one becomes the woman who has done it. This one here can be the man or woman or just the woman. Then also we have another divorcee. And this divorcee here is the man. So this one can be the opposite of this. So you try to open your dictionaries and find out what these things mean. So that is really when you feel like everything is not on your side, that's when you choose to become this or become the other. So members, maybe I forgot to apologize at the beginning of my lesson. The other time when I was writing vocabulary practice, I instead wrote vocabulary practice. I think you've seen that. I'm sorry for that. So it was supposed to be vocabulary practice. I was saying it, but I instead wrote V. So I think you observed that. Sometimes you can even inbox me and say, teacher, but this was like this. The issue is that vocabulary practice. And then there's a word we also left out. That word, groomsmen. We also left out the word groomsmen. So you can also know that. Now, these are the words that for today you can try to look up. Next time when we come, I am sure we shall have time to look at them, right from their definitions. We shall have some forms, forms. You know, when you look at a definition, you have to identify the part of speech of the word. Yes, which part of speech is this word cassock, for example? You can say, this cassock here is a name of something, so it's a noun. So you can know that. Which part of speech is divorcee? This one is a person. So this person here makes what you call a noun. Find out the definition, put the part of speech, find out other forms. What do nouns give us in form of other, as other forms? What do verbs give us? Just try to find out. Get a separate sheet, like I told you during the first whatever lesson. Find a separate sheet, define, and then when I come here, we just compare. We start comparing, find out, am I on the right track or I'm not? That's what we always want. So once again, I should say thank you very much for being part of this lesson. Continue following. Continue, since the lockdown is still on, I would still say continue washing hands, and observing those measures that have been given to us by our dear, right now I'm calling him dear, our dear president. Continue following what he's saying so we can stay safe. Continue revising. I will continue encouraging these people. If you have not yet gotten very, very active, there are some people I'm sure who have not even watched any lesson, who have not done anything. Please, just come on board. Just join us and let's do things together. Thank you very much. We shall meet next time.